Hey everyone, today I'm going to be going through how I walked through the process of signing up for a refinancing of our student loans with credible.com. That is just a site where they list a lot of different refinancing options, and if you go with one of them, they get paid a commission on the back end, so they aren't necessarily earning money off of you. They are getting paid by the lenders that you go with. So they do list all of the different rates. So that's the site I decided to go with. There are several different refinancing sites that do this exact same thing. I will list some of them down in the description box, but I just wanted to walk through the process so you can see what you go through and what you have to provide in order to get all of the different rates that you might qualify for to refinance your student loans. I am signing up to refinance my student loans. They are Parent Plus loans that I've been paying off if you've been following my channel, and I am ready now to refinance them into my name to get a lower rate because I am done with my home refinance, which I wanted to do first. So I am going to use credible.com. So I'm just going to walk you through the process. I had not heard of credible.com before I started looking into student loan refinances, but they compare different sites and they don't charge you anything. They don't make money off of you at all. They make money when you use one of the lenders, and then the lender gives them a fee for referring you. So I really liked that. I liked that they weren't going to make any money off me directly. So it only benefited them if I actually went through with a refinance, and I would get 10 lenders in like no time at all. So I could compare some of the big ones like SoFI and PenFed and all of the ones that are like big on student loan refinancing, and it's free to me. Another thing I really liked is that they don't actually pull your credit score just to give you the first offer. So I was pretty happy with the fact that it wouldn't affect my credit score, just to get some rates and see what was out there. So that was another reason why I decided to do this. I could get multiple rates and no credit check. I liked all of the things I saw about Credible, and it was quick and simple. And since I do almost everything online, I am all about any company that lets me get something done in no time at all with an online form, because it's just so much easier, right? So the way this process is going to work from what I'm reading here is that you fill out a form, you choose the option you like in between all of the different ones that they list for you, and then you provide extra details so that you can choose the loan that you want and get the final offer for the final rate and price, and then you go through the rest of the process with the company that you're choosing. As you can see, they show loans from a lot of different lenders, so you can get various rates from the different lenders. And I originally had decided that I was just going to go with SoFi, but I figured that I could still get a rate from SoFi here and see if I could beat that rate with another company. So that's kind of why I decided to use Credible and just see different options. There are now a couple different companies that do this, so I can leave links for them as well below. I do get a referral kickback commission type thing if you use Credible through my link, but I mean, any of the companies that compare rates are going to be a good option. So I signed up with my email, which obviously I don't want to show you guys. And then I went through this process where they ask you questions about what you're refinancing. And obviously I was refinancing Parent Plus loans. So next I clicked through on that, and I did like that the little like lady down there was giving me like advice and kind of saying, oh, good job, we can help with that, or we can do loans that were co-signed by someone else, all sorts of things, and then asked where you graduated. Then the next question was your highest undergraduate degree, which mine is bachelor's. Did you attend graduate school? I did not, so I don't have any loans from that. Then it asked for your annual income before tax. And on this, I only included my personal income, and then it asked for additional income, which, as you guys know, I do make money on YouTube and Etsy. So I put $1,500, which I've been making, although that's pre-tax, so that's what they wanted. Then they want the monthly rent payment, but they actually wanted only your share if you pay with a spouse, which I did the full amount. They wanted just mine, but I kind of messed that up. So then they want your address, which I have blurred out, and they also wanted to see how much, roughly, if I didn't have the exact number, I wanted to refinance. Then they go through this process where they're searching all of the different ones and pulling your soft score to see if you're pre-qualified. So you get to see on here, they list all the options for you, and I was pre-qualified for 22 different ones.
So I get to look through the different options here, and it looks like I have one that is grouped by the best rates. I have one that is for 3.36 variable APR. So it would be $381 a month for 5 years. Whew. So I did see up here that they show no fees, so no refinancing fees, which is something that put me off refinancing my student loans. I did not know that they don't have closing costs too. I don't know how I assumed that they did, but I guess I thought it was like a mortgage loan refinance, and it's not. There's no fees to refinance your student loans. So that was a pretty awesome thing. And then there's no origination, obviously, or no payment fees. And then you can transfer some loans to spouse or parent, or from parent to child, which is what my personal situation is, which is why I was looking at these specific loans. If you're refinancing just your own personal loans, you probably have more options than I did. So I am just going to look through the different ones that I have options for. I had the low one with PenFed, then ELFI had a fixed APR at 3.9%. And it does show you the total interest that you'll pay on the life of loan. So $21,000 I'm refinancing, I would pay $2,171 on that. Then the next highest interest rate, I would pay $3,275. So I would pay a whole $1,000 more. And it does show that if you want better rates, you can add a cosigner, but I am not going to do that because these are just going into my name, and I actually have the best credit out of pretty much anyone in my family, so it wouldn't help me personally. But if you are someone that has lower credit and you do have a family member that's willing to cosign, I don't actually recommend anyone cosigns for anyone's loans because it just ends up being a mess usually. But if you do have a parent or someone that wants to cosign to help you get the lowest rate, you can do that, and you'll get more offers and a better rate probably. So I ended up scrolling down to see that SoFi wasn't the best rate at all. It was down here at the 4.6 and 4.7, which is obviously still better than what I personally have with these loans. But I would end up paying so much more, like $8,000 in total interest, which was really just not worth it. If you are going to refinance your student loans, you'll want to pay close attention to stuff like that, to the total interest that you're going to pay for the life of the loan. So if you're refinancing to a payment that's going to take 5 years to pay off, you'll want to see that if you're going to pay off $1,800 in extra interest or $8,000 in extra interest. That is a huge difference with your rate. So if you're wanting a fixed rate for sure, so you're kind of worried that rates might go up, if you want a fixed APR, see this one would be $2,171 in total interest. You would have a slightly higher payment, but that is so much better than some of the other ones that are over 4% fixed APR and have $8,000 in total interest. But if you're aiming for a lower payment, you might want to pick one of the ones that is slightly longer. So this one is 7 years. So you could do a refinance for 7 years and you're paying less per month, but you are going to pay about $1,000 more interest than the 5-year loan. So really you have to think about how much you have in your budget now to make that minimum payment. And if you are trying to pay off the debt fast, which I would recommend, I'm trying to do that as well, you would just pay it off faster anyway. So on the side, they have this little tool where you can put in how much your current loan is, the average APR, and your monthly payment. And then it gives you this really awesome total savings. So you can see how much you're going to save by refinancing. And on my particular loans, even the ones with the higher rates, I'm still saving $4,000 to $5,000. And on these lower rates, you guys, the savings, $7,000 just by refinancing. And that's not even counting paying it off faster and getting all of that saved. That was probably my favorite tool in this whole thing, is seeing the complete savings just by refinancing and seeing that doing this would save you $7,000. So the next step is to go to the lender's site and confirm your rates. So I chose the one I wanted, and then they had a couple of follow-up questions about if I'm employed and where I'm employed and identification, which obviously I'm not going to share here. But once you fill all of that out, they send it through to the loan provider that you got the rate from. And I did choose PenFed, so I am refinancing through PenFed because they had the best rate. Even though it's variable, I'm not planning to pay this off for a long time. I just wanted it to get down from that 8.5. So I'm not going to pay this off for 5 years. That doesn't really matter to me. For me personally, I just wanted the lower rate, so that's why I chose a variable rate. But if you are planning to pay it off for a little bit longer and you're okay with that and you want the lower monthly payment, you might want to choose a fixed rate, because who knows what can happen in 5 to 7 years. It's impossible to predict. So after they get all of your personal information, they want you to either import or manually import your student loans. I had to manually do it because AES was having some sort of problem, which of course they were, because they just like to cause me headaches. So I had to do that. And then after it, you just read their terms of service and conditions and all of that. And then you submit all of your information. You're still on credible.com, but you're submitting all of your information to the loan service provider that is going to give you the loan you're wanting. So after that step, you have submitted it, and then they will review it, and then you will get a personalized email within a couple business days. I had to provide my ID, several years of tax returns, several pay stubs, some signed letters, and other things. So it really depends on which loan you get, which company, and what you need to provide. Then, of course, on Credible, if you have gone through the process, you can refer a friend. So you can use this link and send it out to friends or whoever might need to refinance, and you will both get a gift card. So I have that link down below until it runs out. You have a limit on how many people you can refer, but I will always link to credible.com in the description box because the process was really easy, and I'm quite happy with the overall process of getting a refinance offer and submitting my info through credible.com. So if you want to use them, the link is down in the description box. That will be a referral link until it runs out. So if you click through and you don't get the bonus, I'm really sorry, but it is a pretty good referral bonus. So if you do use credible.com, you can personally get that too. You'll just, at the end of the process, get the link and then send it out to others. So it's actually a really great program, and I hope you benefit from it.
So that's it. I did go with a variable APR, which is probably not something I would recommend for most people, but I am planning to pay this off within 1 year, and I don't think rates are going to change enough to make much of a difference. And even if they do change, I highly doubt they are ever going to be up to 8%, which is where we are starting with the loans that I currently have. So even if they go up, they are not going to be at the level that I was paying. So that's why I went with the lowest possible rate, which was a variable rate. And I would probably recommend for most people, if you're not sure, go with a fixed rate because you will be locked in at that certain rate. So I just wanted to make that caveat and let you know why we did that and why I chose the variable rate, which isn't necessarily something I would recommend, but I am planning to pay these off very, very quickly. So let's get to paying them off now that they are going to be refinanced.